was really just a full breakdown, everything you need to learn, basically the A to Z.
From where to start, exactly what to do, how to do it, all the systems, the programs.
The resources and things that were given throughout the training was just phenomenal.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to the Deal Desk, episode 53. My name is Steven Morales. I make live calls on your leads live. If you have any leads, it's not too late. If you have any leads you need to submit and you want me to call them live, go to the reitoolbox.com, okay? And I will call them live on the show. If they don't answer, okay? If they don't answer, then I call one more time. If they still don't answer, I move on to the next lead, okay? Anyways, let's get started. So we have a property here in Miami. They're asking $265. Let me pull up the photo so you guys can see what I'm looking at. All right, I'd like to show you guys what I'm looking at. It's funny. Sometimes homeowners will have recent photos of the property, and they'll say it's fully renovated, and, I don't know how recent this Google Street View is, but it can't be that much of a time difference. So let me share my screen here. I'll let you know about the lead, and then I will make the call. And I'm making all my calls actually on Google Voice. Nothing crazy today. All right, so this is the house we're looking at. This is in Miami. The story behind this, let's see. They're asking $265. Updating, repairs need updating kitchen, bathrooms, paint, fair condition. Spoke to her 3 weeks ago. She isn't ready to sell right away because she is in Atlanta getting medicine and a shot for her knees. When she was done, she would come back to Miami and sell the property. So I was following up with her for about 3 weeks. After that, she ghosted me, didn't answer my calls anymore. ARV's $365. The comp that sold for $369, completely remodeled property. Okay, so we got the ARV $369. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this, because sometimes just by reading this, and thank you so much for the information, by reading this, it lets me know that she's probably doing a lot of back and forth. Some sellers don't feel comfortable doing business unless they're there. So reason for selling, lives in Atlanta, need problems. All right, so let's give them a call. That's the first thing we got to do before I get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. Let's see if she'll pick up the phone first. And when they're going through things like that, I don't, whether you're following up and you've never spoken to the person before, you don't bring those issues up. You let them tell you. You could touch on them. You just don't want to go too in depth, but let's give them a call. You'll see what I mean. Let me give her a call and see if she picks up the phone. It seems like a motivated lead because of what they're going through, right, let's put on speaker. Put it right here on speaker. $265. So it's not ringing. Okay, when it does that. So let me make sure this is the right number. Call back again. Need problems, medicine. Call them again. Boom, boom. All right. So property looks in fair shape from the outside. Is this vacant, or does anybody live there? So it looks like it's ringing, but whoops, I think my audio was disconnected. Hopefully not. Let me call her back one more time. If she doesn't answer, we'll move on to the next lead. Hello? That's so strange. I don't know. She's met, like, I think she answered the phone, but she didn't say anything. Or her phone's not working right. But I was saying, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how to deal with people like this because they could be very sensitive leads and you don't want to risk. You don't want to risk. Oh, here we go. Hello? Hello? Is it?
Hello?
Hey, Mr. McCord.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Steven. I think my partner spoke with somebody named Barbara in regards to your property over there on 188th. Were you still looking to sell?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Okay.
I have her phone. She's not well, she's not I have her phone right now. I'm not home.
Okay.
But if you call back I can make sure she calls. It's not, she gets
Okay.
mhm.
Is she the one handling to sell the property?
Yes.
Okay. What's a better time? I can have my partner give her a call back.
I would say about, I don't know, it's between 3 and 7.
Okay. I will let them know then. Thank you.
All right, man.
Bye. All right. So whoever submitted this lead, 188th in Miami, make sure you call back between 3 and 7. What I was gonna say is that let me go back to the notes here that you submitted here. So spoke to her 3 weeks ago. You mentioned something about her going ghost, and I want to address that. She wasn't ready to sell right away because she's in Atlanta getting medicine and shot for her knees. When she was done, she would come back to Miami and sell the property. So you were following up there for about 3 weeks. After that, she ghosted you. So I'm not sure at what point she said that she's not ready to sell, because maybe in the beginning she says, hey, I'm not ready to sell, and then you followed up with her. If it's within a 3-week time frame, she says she's not ready to sell, I would actually increase it a little bit more. Because somebody says I'm not ready to sell, you call them, a week later, they're nothing much is going to change unless they give you a time commitment. Now, the thing is, it looks like she's doing something, for her health. She's getting a shot for her knees or whatever. So she's in Atlanta. She plans on going back to Miami to sell the property. Some people going through stuff like that don't feel that they are in a good position to sell the property, especially if they're not in there. Some people just feel a lot more comfortable if they are just there. And that's just how it is. Now, one thing I would say is I would get a time commitment from that person, but keep in mind, if somebody says they're not ready, try to increase that time frame. So what that looks like is maybe call every 2 to 4 weeks or a month or something. I mean, I don't know what that process is, that procedure that she's going through, but I personally like following up with people when they're done with their procedure. That's it. Because like if somebody's getting surgery, hey, I'm not ready to sell until I finish my surgery, and then they say their surgery is in, I don't know, December, and I call them in 3 weeks, they're probably going to get upset, and that results in people ghosting you. And you may not do this on purpose, trying to disrespect them, but they may feel like intimidated. This person's not respecting my time. They're moving too quick. They're not calling me back after the surgery. They're calling me back before the surgery. Same thing with this lady. She said that she's having a procedure. So just make sure that you call her back when you get more or less a better time frame. And if I'm not sure if you are in Miami or not, but whether you are or you're not, I highly recommend getting an agent unless you like personally going on these appointments. Okay, so we called that person. They said to call between 3 and 7. So whoever submitted that lead, make sure you call that lead back between 3 and 7. I would consider that a motivated seller. Okay, the next lead is in Minneapolis. Let's pull this up and see what we got. Minneapolis. I always get some interesting calls in this market whenever I'm dialing here. So let me pull up the house, and then we'll see what the situation is. It's always important to, when you figure out the reason the person wants to sell, you want to dig into that reason even more without sounding too pushy. So let me give you an example. Oh yeah, I'm having this surgery. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. What does that look like? What kind of time frame are you looking like to recover? I'm sure that you wouldn't want to move and all that throughout that, So talk to them about it without sounding invasive. I think this is a duplex. Let me see. So anyway, this one in Minneapolis, it looks like they're already moving out of here. Look. Yeah. All right. So anyways, let's read the notes and see what's up with this one. So they just want an offer. Asking price. Wants an offer. Repairs are needed. Fair condition. There's no details. Oh, reason for selling. Wants to get rid of it. All right. So we got to figure out why do they want to get rid of it. Let's give them a call. Sometimes people won't give you a price, but they'll give you a reason, and that's fine. We just got to dig into that reason, especially when somebody doesn't give you that much information. All right, so let me dial. I have some exciting news I'll be announcing at the end, so if you guys want to stay tuned till the end, I'm going to make a big announcement. Just saying. All right, so let's put them on speaker. While it rings, I do comps.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Mogul.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Steven. I think you spoke with my partner a while back in regards to your property on Penn Avenue. Were you still looking to sell?
Sure.
Perfect. Did I catch it at a good time?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I actually want to call you and give you an offer on the property, and my process is actually very simple. I just want to ask you a few more questions other than what I see in the notes. I'll go and evaluate the area.
Just a minute. Hold on.
I wonder if I actually caught them at a good time. I heard a little background noise. I'm not sure if you guys can pick it up, but I pay close attention to those things because somebody says, yeah, go ahead. And then I hear like things going on in the background. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. So I was just saying, I just want to ask you a few more questions other than what I see here in the notes. I'll go ahead and evaluate the area right here in the computer, see what I can offer you. It takes about 7 minutes. Is that okay?
Say again?
It takes about 7 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay.
Perfect. And I just want to let you know up front before I get started, we are a real estate investment company, so I may not always be the best fit, but if I'm not a good fit, I'll let you know up front. That way I don't waste your time, and we do have a team of agents just in case, okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I'm looking here in the notes. It says the property's in fair condition. You're looking to get rid of it. Can you tell me a little bit more about specifically the condition?
What's the address of the property?
Let me pull it up here. I have to mute myself here. Hold on, guys. Okay, all right, I'm unmuted now.
It is a duplex, side by side. One side is 3 bedroom, one side is 1 bedroom. It got a new roof, new heating system, about 5-year-old, 2-car garage, rented. So what else I can tell you?
Okay, perfect. You said they're both rented?
Yep.
Perfect. And like the roof and the AC, do you know when those were last replaced on the property?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. And the bathrooms and kitchen, are they in fair shape, or have they been updated recently?
No, they are in good shape. Yeah. I mean, everybody wants his own taste, but they are in very good shape, good working condition.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
And as far as like the electric and plumbing, any issues with that at all?
No.
All right, perfect. This seems like a great property. It's decent property. What's got you interested in selling it?
Come on, man. Why you waste my time? You call me that if I want to sell it. I don't want to sell it.
Oh, you don't want to sell it?
Good money. If you offer me good money, I live in America. In America, everything is for sale for the right price.
Of course. That's what I'm calling you for. I don't want to waste your time.
Okay, go ahead. What's your offer?
Yeah. So I'm looking here in the area, and if we gave you an offer that made sense to you, what kind of time frame were you looking to sell? About like a week, a month, a couple months?
Right away.
Right away. Okay, perfect. So I'm looking at other properties in the area here. Let me take a look here. Are you familiar with Morgan Avenue?
Yeah.
So there's a property here on 722 Morgan Avenue. This one looks like it's sold for 107,000.
Okay. I won't sell it for that price.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's what I would pay you. I'm just looking at the area here. But taking that to consideration, go ahead.
Call me with your offer.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to look at. But based upon that, that one sold at 107. So obviously you're not looking to get that price, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm looking at another one. Let me take a look at another one here.
Listen, you can look at. Listen, please. I got to go. You can send
He's
me an
not
offer if you
motivated.
want to. Thank you. For your
Okay.
time.
Hey, Mr. He hung up. So he's not motivated. So in the beginning, I asked him, hey, why are you looking to sell this property? I will always do that takeaway because that really tells me, is this a waste of time or is this somebody that's actually giving me information? This person probably not looking to sell at all, right? They're not even motivated. You're going majority of your leads are going to be just like that. But you cannot give in and sound intrigued and rush, because if you do, you're really wasting your time at that point. So when I asked them, why are you looking to sell? Come on, man, quit wasting my time. I don't want to sell. Everything's for sale for the right price. And then I anchored price them. Okay. So anchor pricing is another way to get a reaction out of somebody. Now, I gave him an anchor price at 107. An anchor price is not what your offer is, but it's a way to figure out how motivated is this person. Now, in the beginning, I asked him if he had 7 minutes. I don't know how long that call was, but I don't think we even got to 5 minutes, if anything. And he said he had to go. So number one, that tells me I'm not looking to sell unless it's the right price. Okay, that's fine. I give him an anchor price of 107. Okay. Then he got upset, whatever. And then he said he had to go. So perfect example of somebody that does not want to sell. Whether you are cold calling, direct mail, SMS, PPC, whatever marketing method you're doing, if you get somebody like that and your acquisitions agents or lead manager gets on the phone with somebody like this and they keep going and they try to make a deal out of somebody like this, you're going to be spinning your wheels. To me, this is somebody that is really initially not interested. So I would mark that in my company. We mark that initial no interest. We click review so we could see what the call sounded like. And at what point did the rep, see that it was a potential lead? Because for me, a lead is somebody that genuinely wants to sell. I don't care how much you're asking. I just got to make sure they're genuinely interested in selling. This person is not a seller at all. Okay. Now that shouldn't stop you from calling them back, but it's not somebody that's even warm to hot. But that's how this game is. This is a numbers game. You're gonna get tons of people like that. Let's move on to the next one. I knew it. I said for some reason I get interesting people in Minneapolis. This guy was the closest thing I got to frustrated or angry in a while. Okay, so let's call the next one. Let's see if they're a little bit warmer. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know what it is. I think I talked to this guy a while back in Minneapolis, and he was actually giving away free real estate, but it was to his family. And then I talked to this guy. I think he actually lived in Miami. He said he slept in a different room every night, and he took like a weapon in the room. I don't know. Maybe he watches too many movies. Maybe I don't know what's going on. We get all kinds of interesting people. All right, so let's call the next one. This is also Minneapolis. Then we're going to move on to St. Paul, Atlanta, Memphis. We're going to New York as well. Let me pull this up here. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you guys drop them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them in between calls, okay? So let me pull this up. While I'm pulling this up, keep in mind when you guys are calling yourself or you have cold callers, whatever you're doing, one of the most important things you can do in your business is train your team how to evaluate people that want to sell or don't want to sell very quickly, because you do want to spend the right amount of time on the right leads. This looks like a haunted house almost. Almost. Let's Looks a little distressed. All right, so let me share my screen, and I'll read the details, and we'll give him a call. All right, so this is the house. And what's up with this one? So they want $240,000. It's vacant. Okay. Needs some work. He is motivated. Perfect. Needs rehab. All right, good. So let's give this person a call. All right. Maybe they'll be a little bit in a better mood than the than the last seller. Okay. So I'm gonna dial them up. They came out with a price right off the beginning here. So let me dial it, see if it rings, and then I will start running comps on it. What's their name? Okay.
Al.
Hey, Mr. Lexon.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Steve, and I believe you spoke with my partner a while back in regards to your property on Elwood Avenue. Were you still looking to sell?
Yeah, I don't know when I talked to them. They're talking they want like $285,000 for it.
You want $285 for it?
Yeah, that's what. Well, I got a partner in on the deal.
Okay.
That's what he says he wants for it. He says we're 375 to 400 fixed up.
Did I catch it a good time?
I'm fine. I get more calls from people.
All right, perfect. Well,
call or 2 a week.
I'm sure you do. Well, the reason for my call is I actually want to give you an offer on the property. My process is actually very simple. Just want to ask you a few more questions about it. I'll go ahead and evaluate it right here on the computer, see what I can offer you. It takes about 7 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. And before I get started, I'd like letting everybody I speak with know this up front. Obviously, we are a real estate investment company. We may not always be the best fit, but if I'm not a good fit, I don't want to waste your time or mine. I'll let you know up front. And we also have a team of agents just in case.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I was looking here in the notes. It says it's vacant, needs a full rehab. Can you tell me a little bit more specifically about the condition and the amount of work it might need?
The living room ceiling needs to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
It had a water break. The ceiling came down. All the
Right off the
cabinets are
jump,
out on.
these people, they want
Tiled.
above ARV for a property that needs a
Everything's all done.
renovation.
It's got all new
So
windows in
I
it.
don't know what his partner is looking at, but
Upstairs
super
is a big,
unrealistic.
huge
But this is the
family
why I want to anchor price and get a
room or
reaction out
whatever.
of somebody. They're gonna let me just.
one, two,
I'm letting him tell me about the property condition.
4
I already know it needs a
bedrooms,
full rehab, so the bucket is
2.5
needs for renovation.
baths.
Okay.
Like that, you know, most of the wall work done. You know, I don't know. Paying someone to do it and stuff, you should get
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
to finish it off, you know.
you guys were looking to sell it rather than finish it off, you said?
Well, we're in the process of having a code compliance done on it, so that we can this winter start working on it and get it done all in spring. You know,
Gotcha.
if we get 285 for it, he said he'd sell it.
Gotcha. Okay. And if you got the price you wanted, what kind of time frame were you both looking to sell? About like a week, a month, a couple months?
Yeah, with the compliance and stuff, probably be a month.
Okay.
Sell it,
About a month.
you know, so I'd say probably a month.
Gotcha. Okay. And just out of curiosity, how did you guys come up with that price, or your partner?
Yeah, just going on the internet, looking at houses, what they sell for, 4 bedrooms, the area. Oh, that's the number he came up with. Used to be like 250,000.
Mm-hmm.
But he says the market. I mean, I know market's slow right now.
Yeah. Only reason I ask
But the
because
rental company.
Yeah, because you said the property needs a full renovation, right?
Needs what?
You mentioned the property needs a full renovation, right?
Well, yeah, it needs to be totally renovated. A lot of work done, all the windows are put in it. The bathrooms are all pretty much done. They need to be tiled and stuff, but
Yeah.
you can say full renovation, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking at properties.
285 and that's what he's going to do and all that.
Yeah, because I'm looking at properties in as is condition that are selling in the area. Are you familiar with Oliver Avenue? Yeah, there's a property similar to yours here. It's similar bedroom, bathroom square footage. This one is on 540 Oliver Avenue North, and this one, and as is condition, is sold for 138.
When?
This sold in June. Yeah. Now, renovated, it looks like they're selling for between 250 to 300 is what I'm seeing here. And as is condition, it looks like they're selling anywhere between, I mean, I do see one here that's between 85 to 150 is what I'm seeing. So I'm not sure what he was looking at, but taking that to consideration, do you know if we covered like the closing costs, fees, commissions, what do you think the best price you and him can do?
I know you watch under 285 and all that.
Yeah, I think maybe yeah, I think renovated he could probably get around that price range, but I don't see any recent comparables that support that. But why don't you speak with him? I'll let my partner know. Is there a better time maybe my partner can speak with both of you on the phone?
Yeah, if I can get him scheduled in, he's gone a lot.
Yeah. When do you think would be a better time to check back with you and him?
Like a week or so, and I'll see if I can set up a time when you can meet.
A week?
Yeah, just call me in a week and I should know something.
Okay. All right. I'll let him know. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye. How are you gonna ask? I mean, this is what happens, but like he's asking 285. The ARV, I mean, max, I think it's really 300,000. What I really think about this guy is he's not the main decision maker. It looks like there's two partners involved. He mentioned that they weren't going to finish renovation. I mean, the house doesn't look horrible. The roof doesn't look that bad. I don't know what the inside looks like. I can only go by what he was telling me. But he's asking, people that are super unrealistic may not be knowledgeable about the recent sales. So this is why we anchor price, get a reaction out of them. Another thing that tells me is that they're not on the same page. You submitted this lead at that point. You put an asking price. They were asking $240,000. Okay. So, I mean, how do you go from 240 to 285? And what really this comes down to is you got to get them both on the phone or you have to speak with the main person. I don't think he's a main person, but I would want to have a three-way call with the seller, So, if you submitted this lead, Mr. Lexon of Elwood Avenue, make sure that you call him back in a week and make sure that you speak with his partner or have that gentleman on the line. Okay. All right. But they are really unrealistic. This is why you have to come up with comps. You see, when you're negotiating with people and they give you an asking price, you have to respond with facts. This is why I start off saying the street name followed by the address, because it's an actual property. They can drive by, they can look at the history, the transaction history, whatever they want to do, they can look it up. If I were just to say, yeah, we'd have to be at this price, it's not going to really justify anything. Now, if there's no comps, you always want to create the range, which is what I always talk about. You create your own range, but it's got to be a wide range, super wide range. But it's always a lot more effective if you actually give the person addresses. Now, remember, whenever you're giving an anchor price, a lot of people make the mistake of giving the full address from the very beginning. I don't recommend that. The reason I don't recommend that is because they're not going to know where that property is at all. Hey, are you familiar with 1234 Main Street? I maybe, they might be like that. But if you say, hey, are you familiar with Main Street? And it's close to their property, right? Reasonable distance. And then you follow up, well, there's a property there on 123 Main Street that sold for this. Oh, okay. You sound more of an expert. You can find more common ground. That's the goal. You don't want to right off the bat say this is the address, because they're not going to know exactly where that is unless they've lived there for a long time, which most people don't. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next one. This guy is a no-go. I would follow up with him in about a week. Make sure that the other guy's on the phone because he sounds like the main decision maker. Okay. All right. Next one, St. Paul. They're asking between 150 to 270. Let me pull this up so you guys can see. It's always interesting. You could tell a lot by looking at the photos. Sometimes they'll actually upload photos on Zillow, the actual homeowner themselves. Let's move on to the next property. There's so many ways to use Zillow other than comps. I don't recommend Zillow for comps. But I think I'll drop a video on YouTube on how to really use Zillow. You can get deals on Zillow. A lot of people think you can't get deals on Zillow. You can get deals on Zillow. But how do you get deals on Zillow? What do you do to find leads on Zillow? I'll drop that all in the video. Maybe I'll drop it soon here. So this property here, this is a funky one. All right, so let me share my screen and we'll read you the story about it. All right, so this is the property. They're asking between 150 to 170. What repairs are needed? Needs love. How much love does it need, though? That's the real question. Do you need a little bit of love or a lot of love? Got to make sure we figure that out. Needs some work. He has material worth $17,000 he bought for rehab inside the house. Reason for selling, moving out of state. All right. When people start giving an estimation of how much the material are, they're probably going to try to nickel and dime you with everything. But most sellers do that. All right. So anyways, let's move on to the this one. So let's call him 17,000. So I think in his mind, hey, I have $17,000 worth of material. I expect to get $17,000 added to your offer. So, and that's not the case. And I'll tell you why in a second, but let's give him a call and see if he picks up the phone first. All right. Let's give him a buzz. And then actually I'll tell you guys something really cool I'm working on. Okay, something really cool I'm working on. This is a very interesting house. Like the other houses. Uh-oh. His phone's dead. Let me make sure I dial the right number. Double check. 6. Yeah. All right. So let me call them back one more time. Let me call them back one more time. Come on. I get blown up on these calls. I got put on do not disturb. Why does this house look like this? Let me look up the data.
Please leave your message.
Phone looks like it's off or dead. Sorry, I gotta move on to the next lead. Something that kind of catches my eye here is the construction of the property. This is on Avenue. This is in St. Paul. Yeah. All right, so one was this property. So all these other properties, they're like wood frame. This is like the only construction. Block. Is this block? Yeah, this one is, but looks a lot different. All right. Anyways, what was I gonna say? So when somebody is working on a house, and let's say they don't want to finish it for whatever reason, and they leave the materials in there for you. Some people, not all people, but some people expect to get that price added onto your purchase price. And The answer to that is always no, because every buyer has their own team, their labor costs, or material costs. So who knows if they even want to use the materials in there. So just make sure that when you're speaking with other investors or people that are planning renovating the house, you can speak with them on expert lingo. Expert lingo is like, yeah, man, the ARV, the cash comps, the comps, all this stuff, all this language that somebody flipping house should be familiar with. You got to speak that lingo, because then they know that you know what you're talking about. With homeowners that aren't flipping house, you don't want to say that. You don't want to talk. You want, instead of cash comps, say similar properties and as is condition. Instead of ARV comps, say properties, updated properties in the area renovated. So check us out. If you're tuning in, guys, I want to announce something really cool that I'm going to be actually working on. Okay. And that is the Master Closer Mastermind. What is the Master Closer Mastermind? This is the first time I've actually ever come up with this. Okay. So the Master Closer Mastermind is basically, you're going to have calls with me, Zoom calls. You're going to have all my resources, scripts, KPIs, rebuttal sheet, role playing, live calls. You're going to have the ability to do all these things. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and it's going to be limited. I don't want 100 people, whatever. This is not a motivational group. Okay. This is like, let's get to work. Here's my tools. Let's call your leads. Let's close some deals. Okay. So it's called the Master Closer Mastermind. If you are interested, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, on Facebook. Okay. Instagram's probably the best way to reach me, but it's called the Master Closer Mastermind. Again, for those of you just tuning in, this is something that I will be announcing shortly. The first time I've ever done this. It's not a boot camp. It's not a motivational rah-rah group. I'm going to give you my tools. You're going to have calls with me live, Zoom calls, not phone calls. Okay. We're going to be on Zoom calls. There's different tiers. You'll get all the information. Just shoot me a DM. I'll add you to the list to get information. But again, let me just go over a few things that you'll be getting. Okay. All right. You'll be getting Zoom calls. You'll be getting my cold call script, my acquisition script, the rebuttal sheet, acquisitions training. I'm going to be training you or your team just like as if it was my team. Remember, my business is virtual. I'm going to be teaching your team or yourself the exact same ways, the exact same processes as I do with my team. Okay. Role playing. I want to listen to your calls. I want to role play with you or your team. I want to make sure I give you feedback. Before COVID, when we had these live events, role playing was an essential part of learning. Why? Because I want to see what you sound like, and I want to let you know what to adjust. And I'm a big believer in small details. I can adjust a few things. Hey, maybe instead of saying this, say that, implement it. It's going to start working. You're going to start seeing things. KPIs, like how many leads you call, how many come in, all those KPI spreadsheets you'll get. Comp support. If you need help running comps, you want me to help you run comps, you want my opinion on what my max offer would be, what the ARV is, what you think you should sell it at, I'll let you know that. Open Q&A, obviously. It's more of a, classroom setting. It's not a presentation. That's one thing I want to make very clear. A lot of people say, hey, like, here's some slides. This is how to do it. Like, it's not like that. This is going to be more of a workshop. Okay. This is going to be interactive. I just, like, some people like promote like garbage out there that doesn't really get anybody anywhere besides getting motivated. There's good education, bad education, but I want to give you something you guys can actually use. This is why I do the deal desk, and I'm not afraid to do this stuff live. But with this Master Closer Mastermind, you have the ability to have access to me, and you also have the ability for me to call your leads. So just like I'm doing this, wouldn't it be cool if I was on a Zoom call with you a few times throughout the week, and let's call your leads. Let me call your leads live, with you and me on the phone. Anyways, so that's long story short. Just want to tell you a little bit more about that. If it's something you feel might be a good fit for you or your team, shoot me a DM on Instagram right now. Say, hey, saw you on the deal desk. Give me more information about the Master Closer Mastermind, okay? And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. let's get back to it here. All right, so this person didn't pick up the phone. Let's go on to the next one in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Atlanta's a great market. A lot of deals being done over there. If you have any multifamily, commercial, industrial warehouse, any self-storage in Florida or Georgia, shoot me a message because we do buy those. We are looking for those. Okay. When it comes to single family, only in the Tampa area. I want to be able to drive to the property if I'm personally renovating it. But if you have like a buy and hold opportunity, like self-storage, stuff that you can add value to, industrial warehouse, multifamily, those things, it has to be over 20. It's multifamily, self-storage over 100 units, and any industrial type warehouse we'll take a look at. All right. So anyways, this lead right here is in Atlanta. Let me share my screen. Whoops. All right. So this is Atlanta. What's the story behind this one? They're asking $190,000. What repairs are needed? No information, fair condition. Other important details we should know. Looks like you put here kitchen and all interior painted. No other recent updates. Not too much information. Reason for selling did not state. That's a big red flag. Not a red flag you should be afraid of, but just something to be cautious of. Let's call them. The reason I say it's a red flag is because if you're calling people and they don't tell you why they want to sell, whoa, what happened here? Hold on a second. You see this? You guys looking at my screen? Is this the same house? It is the same house. This Google Street View is something else, man. Like I guess I time traveled seasons by click of an arrow. Look at that. You could see a little bit better this one. And you got like this fog over here or whatever this is. Maybe they're doing a barbecue in the back. All right, anyways, let's give them a call. You'll find all kinds of, interesting, crazy things on Google Street View sometimes. All right. Put on speaker and see if they pick up the phone. That's interesting. It's fall, summer, or spring. House looks the same. You could actually see a lot better here.
Hello, you reached the voicemail of Fred.
Oh, let's try calling him again. If you're starting out in this business, I highly recommend you get a power dialer. I'm only doing these one-by-ones because this is a deal desk. I'm calling your leads. But if you're starting out, you're pulling tons of data, make sure you get a power dialer. I recommend Call Tools. There's actually a link on my IG to get a discount. But that's what I refer. I only refer stuff I use and that works. And that's good customer service and good tech support. Hello?
Yes, it's Fred.
Hi, Fred. My name is Steven. I believe you spoke with my partner in regards to your property on Stewart Mill Road. Were you still looking to sell?
Not at the moment. Can you hold 1 second? Let me call me back in about 5 minutes. I got another line that I need to wrap.
Okay, sure.
5 minutes. Okay.
Yep. I'll call him back in 5 minutes we still got a little bit of time. So let me get back to this gentleman. He's on the other line. So he said, not really. Now he's asking 190. Let me just do the comps on this real quick since we do plan on calling the gentleman back. By the way, I do not show the comps on the deal desk in order to keep the leads confidential. But if you want to see how I run comps, check out the YouTube channel. I mean, you guys are on the YouTube watching live. If you're watching live, make sure that you subscribe. Click the like and subscribe button. I'm going to be dropping tons more content, but I like to give people what they want. So if you want to know more about comps and what that looks like, how I'm able to determine what my max offer is very quickly, make sure you head over to that video. Okay? All right. So this guy said to call him back. let me run the comps on this really quick. All right. Because it looks like you put in notes. He's asking 190. Now, I don't judge the seller's motivation by their asking price, even though that could be a good point. I don't really judge it by their asking price because their motivation may be completely different than their asking price. You got to keep that in mind. Some people, they look at Zillow, they'll say that price or $5,000 underneath that price. They'll think it's a great deal when it's not. And then when you talk to them, you build rapport. I mean, I've had people drop $100,000 in some markets. So I don't ever judge anybody by their price. What I do determine how motivated they are is the reason and time frame will tell you a lot about why somebody's motivated or not. So this guy's asking 190. I mean, right off the bat, I can see that's close to full market value. Okay. Very interesting, diverse area. Looks like the ARV is around, 200,000. Yep. You have some really high price points, but it's kind of far. So I don't even want to look at that. I don't like crossing major highways or bodies of water. Also, you have to look at does a property have a pool or not? Does a property have a basement or not? Finished or unfinished? What's the heated square footage? A big thing when you're negotiating with homeowners is their square footage. They may look at the total square footage. We want to look at heat. Oh, I found a new comp actually. Hold on. This ARV, this one's really good. The ARV is about 225. I just found a new comp. He still wants 190. It's not that much of a difference, but you always want to look at as much information as possible. What was I saying? Make sure when you're talking to homeowners, you are looking at heated square footage is key. Heated square footage, livable square footage. If somebody says, hey, I converted the garage, whatever, without permits, you got to look into that, but make sure it's livable space. A garage, I mean, before conversion doesn't count as livable square footage, okay? Just want to throw that out there. So this guy answered. He said to call back in 5 minutes. We'll call back. I'll come back after this next call. All right, so this one's in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's see what we got. Memphis is one of those lower price markets with a lot of volume. So let's put this in here. Hold on a second. I think you're missing the address. You put the city and the state, but unfortunately, I don't think you put the full address. I think you're missing a few numbers. Let me check. Maybe you did. No, I think actually you're good. Never mind. Not that often I see a single digit house. Sometimes condos, whatever, apartments, but like a house, I don't usually see one digit. All right, so let me pull up this house. This is looks very, very distressed. All right, and then I'll read you the story on this one. So this is the house. Broken windows, looks distressed, overgrown. I wonder if they own this lot, by the way. That's another thing. All right, so anyways, this one they're asking $78,000. The whole inside needs work. There are some pictures on Zillow because it was an MLS fail. Needs some work. It was an MLS fail. Now he's asking way more than that. That's not good. Wants to move portfolio to New York. All right, so let me actually stop sharing this. I'm going to see if there's actually photos on Zillow without obviously showing the address. I don't see any. Let me pull up on PropStream. One thing about MLS fails, if your property is an MLS fail, there's already been tons of eyeballs on it. Obviously, it wasn't priced correctly. Okay, so if a property's on the MLS and it fails, you have to get it at a lot deeper discount than it was originally listed for. For example, I had people that call me, yeah, I want to sell my house. My agent did a bad job. I see it was listed for $195. They're trying to sell for $190. That's not going to be sexy enough to attract people to, $5,000 off. But, even if I were to buy it off the MLS, commissions, closing costs, fees, and all that stuff, I mean, you're still not making anything different, really. So let me see if there's photos on here. Or I want to see what price it was, not photos. I already see it's a piece of junk, but I want to see the price point was that. I'm not able to pull this up here. Anyways, we'll get that information from the homeowner before looking into it. So let's see if they answered the phone. And then we'll call that gentleman back in Atlanta. All right, so how do you pronounce that name? I'll do my best to pronounce his name. All right. So MLS listings, you got to pay attention to what it was listed for and the days on market. I mean, I've seen properties listed for a year, and then they want to drop $5,000 and they think it's still a good deal. It's not. So let's see what happens here. Perfect example of a distressed property, though. If you ever driving for dollars, this would be a gold mine.
Please leave your
Let's call back one more time. If he doesn't answer, we'll call the gentleman back in Atlanta because he was on the other line. So let's see here. Memphis. Yep. Let's call him back one more time. So whoever submitted this lead, just make sure you figure out what it was listed for, and you would have to get it at a drastically different price. While it's ringing, let me run the comps for you. But this house won't even come up is the problem. Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
Hi, my name is Steven. This is Miss Naweed.
No, wrong number.
You don't own the house on Norwood Avenue?
No, wrong house. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I 110% dialed the right number. But it looks like, hold on a second. Maybe I need glasses. I think 9. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I missed a number. Wasn't you, it was me. I'm not perfect, okay? So let me call them back. Let me call the correct number. I just turned 31, so maybe I'm losing my eyesight early. I don't know. Okay. All right, let's call the correct number this time. Hopefully they pick up the phone. So I'm still trying to figure out.
sorry. Naomi.
Now I dialed the right number this time. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I dialed the right number this time. So let's call that number back one more time. If not, we'll call that gentleman back from Atlanta.
Sorry.
No answer. All right. So anyways, we're going to call the guy back in Atlanta. But keep in mind, thanks for that information. You put great information. The property was a failed listing. Okay? Failed listing. So just make sure when you ever have a failed listing, you want to figure out the days on market and the price it was listed for because it didn't work. Okay? Oh, I see you guys are blowing the chat a little bit. Steven, I have $1 million project in Boca Raton. $800,000 seller is asking comps in the area, $1.1 to $1.5 million comps. Sounds pretty good. I actually have buyers in that area, so if it's something you want to JV, let me know. Other than that, I think that's a decent spread if it's in good shape. Okay. All right. So where was that gentleman that I called earlier? Here he is. So let's call this number back because he was on the other line. He right off the bat, he said he didn't want to sell. So I'm gonna call him back anyway. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Let's call him back. He did say call back in 5 minutes. Let me pull that address back up so we can run comps.
Hello, it's Fred.
Hey, Fred, this is Steven. You wanted me to give you a call back in a few minutes. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, perfect. So, I was going to ask you, the reason I was calling is I want to give you an offer. Do you have about 7 minutes? Is that okay?
7?
Yeah, is that fine?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, you spoke to my partner a while back. They said that you were going to sell this property. My process is actually very simple. I just want to ask you a few more questions. I'll analyze the area. I already let you know how long it takes, about 7 minutes. And something I like letting people know up front is that we are an investment company. So I may not always be the best fit. I don't like wasting people's time or my time. But if I'm not a good fit, I'll let you know up front. And I also have a team of real estate agents just in case. Okay. All right, perfect. So let me get started here on the property. I see here it's in fair shape, kitchen and all interior painted, no other recent updates. Can you tell me a little bit more specifically about the interior and any other work it may need?
I mean, it was exterior was painted, new roof, probably about 5 years ago. I think the interior was redone at that time. Drywall, painting, and all that. I do have a tenant in the house.
Mm-hmm.
My last check and everything was in good shape. The work in order. It does have a bonus room that's typically overlooked. So you have 3 bedrooms. You have 2 full baths and 2 full baths and a half bath. And the attached 2-car garage.
I also want to ask about the tenants because that's important. I don't see what's relationship with tenants, how long they've been there, month to month, annual lease. Okay. And as far as like the electric and plumbing, any issues with that at all? First, I want to talk a little bit more about the condition.
No, as I said, that was redone. That's just saying, so all the electric and plumbing is good.
Okay.
New hot water heater at the time and furnace, all that.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned that tenants are they good tenants? They pay on time?
Yeah, in fact, the guy been there. He's been with me for about 8 years. Consistent on time.
Mm-hmm.
No complaints, or anything. Really self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And are they on a month-to-month or annual lease?
An annual. Basically do March. So March.
Okay.
Is what we've done.
Are they aware that you may be looking to sell the house?
No, I didn't want to cause any uneasiness. I feel like it needs to be in front of the exit and things. So, because right now I'm really not a motivated seller.
Yeah.
I just have been getting so many inquiries. I just say, well, okay, I'll talk to you. So it's gonna take a bit for me to want to sell it.
Right. And I was gonna say, it seems like a great property. And why were you looking to sell? You're just trying to see if you can get a good price out of it.
I'm really not. I just have been called a lot like this call.
Yeah.
I just say, hey, sitting hurt for a conversation.
Okay. So I know you're not motivated seller. I appreciate you letting me know that up front. So if you were to sell, or if you've considered selling, I mean, what would that price have to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I would need to be north of 190. For me to feel like it was worth making a move.
Yeah. Now the big question is if and I got to confirm with my partner, but if we can do that 190, I mean, what kind of time frame do you think you'd be ready to sell? About like a week, a month, a couple months?
I would say, I'd be ready to start the process in a week. I don't know how long it takes for, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to speak with my partner to make sure that's a price that makes sense to them. This is a very diverse area. I mean, you have some houses that are selling for a lot of money because they have land and there's some new development. Then you have some houses that are in as-is condition. And then obviously, anytime a property has tenants, like even if anybody's ever considering, we always want to make sure it's a win-win-win situation, whether they want to stay, whether they want to go. So we got to figure that out as well. So let me speak with my partners to see if that's a price that makes sense. If it is this something that you think maybe next week we can get like an agreement together and you can let us know when you'd like to close?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me speak with him and make sure that's a good price. And then he'll reach out back to you or we'll reach out back together. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. He doesn't sound motivated. Now, the thing is, guys, something crazy came up in the comp. So it doesn't make sense to me because typically, so on here, he's asking 190, by the way. Number one, he's not motivated. Okay, that's the first thing. The guy's not motivated. But if he got 190 or north of 190, he said he would consider selling. I'm looking at the comps here, okay? And I believe this is a hedge fund because it's two different prices. So number one, I see this buyer bought this house for $3.2 million. But when I click on the transaction history, it's not just like that house. Obviously, when you click on linked properties on PropStream, it shows you what other properties they have. And they own a total of 2,677 houses. They have an open loan amount of $634 million. Okay, so check this out. They are buying in this area. This clearly has to be a hedge fund. So the good news is they bought, well, I don't know if it shows exactly which one. Let me see. I click link properties. They got a whole list here. Anyways, my point is what I recommend, whoever submitted this lead, and I can help you out with this if you'd like, because you may or may not be. I recommend at least getting this under contract. He agreed to the price. The thing is, he's not motivated. Now, if you notice what I did ask him here is, hey, I got to check on my partner. I don't want to jump on this, even if it's a deal. I don't want to jump on it. Yeah, let's sign a contract today. That's where you lose it. What you have to do is say, hey, I got to check on my partner. If it is a good price and makes sense, do you think this is something you'd be open to getting an agreement together next week? He said, yeah. So he accepted the offer, but you don't want to send a contract right away. So who submitted this lead over here in Atlanta? Jonathan, you submitted this lead. Shoot me a DM. I actually have buyers in this area too. I'd be open to helping you analyze this because this is a very tricky area, but it's not just this property. There's also another buyer right across the street. Let me see here. Number 3 or number 8. Sometimes these prices don't make any sense. And then when you actually look at to see who the buyer is and how much they're buying, it makes sense. So there's another one that bought, it says $2.1 million. When we click on the property, you click linked properties on PropStream, different buyer, linked properties, 1,163 properties owned. These are big buyers, okay? So there's opportunity here. Buyers, it comes to hedge funds, they always have very specific criteria, but if it matches it, easy done deal, okay? So that was a great call today. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit more information. Keep in mind, guys, what I announced earlier is I'm having a master closer mastermind. What is a master closer mastermind? If you're just tuning in or maybe you missed me earlier in the show, master closer mastermind you're going to have the ability to have Zoom calls throughout the week with me. I'm going to give you my acquisition script, my cold call script, the KPIs we use. We're going to role play. We're going to get comp support. You're also going to have the opportunity for me to call your leads live. Now, obviously on the deal desk, I call anybody's leads. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. People submit them. But if I am able to train you and or your team and exclusively call your leads on a Zoom call, I mean, I think that'd be a little beneficial for some people if you know what I can do and what I'm capable of, okay? But again, just to recap, if you're interested, make sure you shoot me a message. I'm already getting tons of messages. Okay, I'm just going to get your information and I'll have my team send you some information. But just to recap, there's different tiers, but basically it consists of Zoom weekly calls. Okay, you get the cold call script, acquisition script. You bring your leads. We'll jump on your leads and I'll call them myself live. Okay, rebuttal sheet, acquisitions training, role playing, KPIs, comp support, Q&A. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But if you're interested, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I will send you some information about that because I get so many requests and I don't, there's only so much time I have in a day. Okay, so if I'm able to put everybody in the mastermind, I can serve the community all at once. This is not free. You know, this is not free. Obviously, it's an investment, but I'm going to make it affordable, depending what tiers, obviously. Everybody's different stages in this business, but I'll make it at a price that makes sense for people. This is exclusive. I don't want 100 people. You know, I want a small, intimate group where I can actually talk to you, answer questions, go through your leads and stuff. I do one-on-one calls, but with very specific people. That's something if you're interested in, we can jump on as well. But I think this will benefit you a lot more. All right. So anyways, my Instagram is official Steven Morales, just in case you don't have me on Instagram. Okay. Let me actually add it on here. Just in case you're wondering, it's official Steven Morales. Looks like this. Official Steven Morales. Okay. Just shoot me a DM. Say, hey, Steven, I saw you on the deal desk talking about Master Closure Mastermind. I'd love some more information. That's it. That's all you got to do. Okay. So I'm already have people on a list here. My team's getting back with them. So shoot me a DM. Have a great weekend, guys. Hopefully you learned a little bit from today. You know, have your team binge watch these things. Binge watch these things yourself. When you hire people, have them binge watch these things. You know what I'm saying? Other than the course, this is probably some of the best, you know, stuff live that they can learn from. Okay, whether you get angry people, happy people, unmotivated, motivated. I can tell you right off the bat, I think this deal, this lead in Atlanta is a deal. Okay, what we can sell it for. Hedge funds usually pay, you know, high because they're not looking for an immediate return. It's more of a long-term hold, passive play. Okay, so make sure you guys implement everything. Hit me up if you're interested about Master Closure Mastermind. Have a great weekend, guys. Go crush it. I'll see you guys later. Take care.